Law school admissions is evolving and fast. LSAT medians at T14 law schools are climbing, and the LSAT just underwent the biggest change in over 30 years. If you're applying to law school, understanding recent changes is essential. Today, I'm going to break down for you the 5 biggest trends shaping the LSAT and law school admissions and show you how to turn these shifts to your advantage. First, for those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, the LSAT has always been a high-stakes test, but it's becoming tougher and tougher to get a top score due to LSAT score inflation. T14 law schools are reporting record high medians, with some reaching 75th percentiles in the high 170s. The T14 LSAT medians are all 170 or above, and schools that once took students with scores in the 150s are now filling their seats with students in the 160s. The LSAT itself has also evolved, of course. The test transitioned from paper to digital tablets in 2019, went fully online in 2020 with the temporary LSAT Flex format due to the pandemic, and now, with logic games being phased out entirely after the June 2024 LSAT, the structure and strategies around the LSAT have changed once again. Add to that LSAC's recent decision to discontinue the LSAT India, the increased number of testing administrations per year, and the broader availability of testing accommodations for extra time, it's clear that we're witnessing a significant shift in how the LSAT and law school admissions are evolving. So today I'm going to unpack what all of this means for you as a law school applicant. I'm going to break down the 5 biggest trends shaping the LSAT and law school admissions, and more importantly, how you can stay ahead of the competition. First off, LSAT score inflation. Recent years, we've seen a sharp rise in top LSAT scores, particularly 170 or above. The biggest factor is the increasing number of test takers receiving accommodations for extra time and extra breaks. Of course, the LSAT is strictly timed, and so accommodations like these can significantly boost test taker scores. While it's leveling the playing field for some students, it's overall raising the overall competitiveness of the applicant pool. Schools like Columbia and Chicago are at 170 plus LSAT medians, and this means your LSAT score has to be exceptional to compete at top schools. Don't just aim for a good enough score, and don't just aim for last year's LSAT medians, aim to surpass them. If you'd like my help getting a 170 plus LSAT score, if you're aiming for a T14 law school or getting significant scholarship money, or of course both, my team and I would be glad to help you out. At LSAT Unplugged, we offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. You can check out the links below to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. Now, while LSAT score inflation is probably the biggest change we've seen in recent years, there are also a number of other significant changes. Of course, secondly, we have the transition to the online testing. The LSAT used to be on paper. It was briefly on tablet. Then it transitioned online. You could take it remotely from home or in person at a prometric testing center. And this brings its own challenges, of course. If you're taking the LSAT remotely from home, you want to be prepared for how to deal with the proctor and potential tech issues. Here's a pro tip. Before the test begins, ask the proctor, hey, the LSAT is strictly timed. If you have to interrupt me for any reason, can you please pause the clock to avoid diminishing the time that I have remaining? And of course, even better, if you can, take the LSAT in person at a prometric testing center, so that at least that way you're not dealing with a remote proctor who themselves may have a shaky internet connection. And if there's a problem with your device, you can always switch over to another one right there at the center. A small adjustment like how and where you take the test can of course have a huge impact on your score. And of course, don't take your practice tests in books on paper if you'll be taking the LSAT online. Prepare like you're going to experience the LSAT on test day. That's why at LSAT Unplugged, everything that we offer is online, and we have you using LSAC's Law Hub platform for all your practice tests, which is the only platform that replicates exactly what you'll experience on LSAT test day. Third biggest factor in recent years, of course, is the removal of the logic games section. It was officially removed from the LSAT after the June 2024 LSAT. Whether you loved games or hated them, this was a defining feature of the test for decades. Now with logic games off the LSAT, the remaining sections, logical reasoning and reading comp, are even more important. Logical reasoning in particular, since when LSAC made the change, they removed logic games and replaced it with a second scored logical reasoning section. At LSAT Unplugged, of course, we've updated all of our materials by removing logic games entirely and adding a whole lot more on LSAT logical reasoning, helping you improve your ability to analyze arguments, make inferences, and of course, read dense material under pressure. And we've also adjusted our students' personalized day-by-day study plans to incorporate more focus on logical reasoning to help you better spot the patterns in the methods of reasoning, the tempting wrong answers, unappealing right answers, and get you ready for test day given the new format. Now, in a recent shakeup a lot of students in North America may not be aware of, LSAC announced they are discontinuing the LSAT India, which was a version of the test designed specifically for Indian law schools. LSAC's official statement on this pointed to strategic business priorities. LSAC is clearly doubling down on markets where the LSAT has the most impact, like the US and Canada. And this move shows that LSAC is constantly evolving and adjusting to meet the needs of different admissions landscapes. And so for US applicants, this is a reminder that while the LSAT remains critical, LSAC's willingness to adapt their strategy means the test may continue to evolve in ways that we can't yet predict. So staying informed is your best defense against surprises. Make sure that you're always using up-to-date LSAT prep materials. Don't rely on some hand-me-down textbook from a couple of years ago. Now, finally, one big change in the LSAT and law school admissions landscape is a growing emphasis on retaking the LSAT. It's becoming more common than ever before and more necessary as well. It used to be the LSAT was only offered 4 times per year. Now it's offered 8 times per year. And so by doubling the frequency of LSAT administrations, this gives applicants more chances to retake the LSAT and aim for higher scores. Law schools do not average multiple LSAT scores, but rather they only take the highest score. And with score inflation and rising LSAT medians, it's more worth it than ever before to retake the LSAT because law schools will not penalize you. You can only benefit from the opportunity to get a higher score. If you don't score higher, no big deal. But even just a point or two more on the LSAT can lead to significant scholarship money, getting into better law schools, or both. But of course, you want to retake with a plan. Without a plan, you're wasting your time and you're damaging your confidence. You want to instead have a strategic approach for your LSAT retake prep, whether it's through targeted one-on-one coaching or a small group program or having a more personalized day-by-day study plan to help you make the most of that retake attempt. When you're studying for a retake, you want to focus on drilling your weak areas and taking more practice tests to maintain and build your endurance. Now, if you'd like my help studying for the LSAT, whether you're retaking it or not, my team and I would be glad to help you out on your journey to scoring a 170 plus. Again, at LSAT Unplugged, we offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. You can check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. And in the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.